Welcome to Sectoral Events webinar platform. Today, my guest from Immigration Connection, Nusra Sahin. She's the managing director of the company and also level 3 immigration advisor. She will explain clearly what happened after Brexit. As everyone knows, everyone was watching years and years to UK news, what is going on about Brexit. So finally, we quit the European Union. I'm very curious what's going to be after. The post-Brexit immigration system change smoothly, slightly, or hardly, I am not sure. So you will explain better. But before, you can maybe tell us a little bit more who is Nusra Sahin and what is immigration doing and your services and where is your company based. You can give us a little bit information about all of it, then carry on your presentation, Nusra. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Arzu, for inviting me. Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, my business Immigration Connection is based in Angel, Islington, London, but we provide immigration advice on UK immigration advice all over the globe. So we have clients, like for family or work visas applying from abroad. And we have an office in Istanbul as well for our Turkish base. So I've been working in this area for almost 11 years now. Like it's going to be in April, we will be 11 years, completing 11 years as Immigration Connection. Of course, it's changed a lot. It's not exactly the same as we started. It changed, especially with this Brexit. We are experiencing, adapting to these changes. I'm sure like Brexit is going to bring so many changes. As you mentioned, we are looking forward to see, understand and adapt to it. In immigration area, immigration field, I think we have been feeling it for many years because with the uncertainty, we were unable to advise people in long run what they should expect and what's going to happen. Now we are there. Now we can see what is going to be presented, that what is being presented to immigrants, employers. Of course, it is affecting many families as well. So now we are, of course, I will do my best, but it is a huge change. So I prepared this slide. I will show like some of the categories. It won't be possible to mention everything, but I would be happy to answer like as an overview if anyone has any questions. So that this is how it is. We are maybe that because you ask in terms of our services, because we are regulated at level 3, we do like appeals, immigration, tribunal appeals in local level tier 1 court and also first tier court, and also in the higher tribunal. Upper tribunal, we can do that, family visas, but we are mainly specializing in business categories and work categories. So this is our specialization. We are quite a big team for an immigration firm. We have advisors, caseworkers, also business consultants working in the team. So we are enjoying the ride.
Actually, you are an international company. You have offices in Turkey, in Istanbul, and the main office in UK in Angel.
Yes,
as I know.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Okay. You can take the screen share if you want.
Of course, yeah. Let's start. Let me see in which slide we are. Okay. So I hope you can see now. Yes, everything's
perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. This presentation will be just to give an overview. It won't be like an immigration advice in terms of if you have questions, like just, I understand there's a section you can put your questions in. But if they are quite specific to your scenario, I won't be able to probably give you advice, but give an overview on your questions as much as I can. So we will talk about post-Brexit immigration system. After like what has changed after Brexit. We are aware of this European Union. After we left European Union, Britain left European Union. Of course, some of the biggest issue was immigration. So there was big question mark about the number of immigrants coming to the UK, and UK was questioning like how much value they are bringing to economy and the, you know, what type of workforce like I am getting from European Union. So the idea was to close the door and take control back to, you know, on the borders. European Union ending this marriage with European Union, there was quite a big conversation around immigration. And what happened is whoever is in the UK can keep their European like residency and can apply for citizenship, European Union citizens I'm talking about. So even like even if this has affected European Union and Britain relationship, there were other countries like Turkey, this is what I can think of, Turkish citizens were accessing some additional privileged rights due to having some international agreements with the European Union, and this ended as well. What has changed after Brexit is Britain has made some, created like a strategy that it can control itself. The Home Office wanted to decide who can come in and what they want from these immigrants. And what they want from these immigrants is quite specific, I would say. And this is, at the moment, talent, innovation, investment is not even, you know, even investment, we see investment is not being very big part, although we have an investor visa, the numbers are not high as before, because, you know, this ended as well. There was an entrepreneur category. It was requiring £200,000, but the business didn't have to be innovative or like research or development kind of focus was not required. With this, you know, after it was removed, they didn't replace it. Instead, we have only innovation, research, you know, creativity, that kind of business ideas being favored by the Home Office. Now, this is what we see. So what has changed after Brexit? Britain wants to bring the best of the talents and qualified people, and also fill the shortage, skill shortage in the country. So I have created this visual. It might not look very elegant, very sophisticated, but this is what I could do. So I chose 4 of these. Of course, what are the available routes in post-Brexit immigration system? So it's like, these are the highlights that I will be mentioning. And there are, of course, other things, but this is our focus in terms of what they changed towards the Brexit. So skilled worker category, you can see W in a star. They are workers. They can only work. They are no entrepreneurs. And global talent visa, they can work, they can start a business, they can earn money in the, you know, there's no limitations about the way they work. I didn't put E, I left entrepreneur sign to startup visa and innovator visa, because they are not just business people. They are the entrepreneurs bringing innovations, new ideas, new solutions. So this is why I just kept them with marked them with E for entrepreneur. It's like or in startup visa and innovator visa, the important thing is that UK wants to get these new solutions, advanced technologies, new research ideas, new ways of solving problems in the humanities as well, humanities field as well. So we will look into this, not in this order. So in the order I thought it would be the best to address them. So we will start with the entrepreneurial ones. We have two categories in here because like these are the ones we have now. We used to have an entrepreneur visa, as I said. It was closed, I think, almost 2 years ago. It was, again, it was building up towards Brexit. There was this stress, pressure, and questioning about how efficient is that visa. And they decided that entrepreneur visa, which required £200,000 investment, didn't help the UK much. And it was open to questioning from many aspects. And it was closed. Of course, those who are in that category continues to be in that category, but they replaced it with startup visa and innovator visa. They didn't replace it with startup visa. They already had a graduation entrepreneur visa. They just changed it, adapted it towards the, what they want to see. So there are, as you can see, there are two lines underneath: stage 1 endorsement, stage 2 visa application. So with this new, as I said, this is not just came after 31st of December. This was what was building up towards Brexit. And now we have the updated versions, like throughout this, since referendum, we were seeing these changes. Stage 1 endorsement. So if someone wants to apply for a startup visa, they first need to get an endorsement from an endorsing body. This is, let's say you have an idea, and also it is the same for innovator visa, but we will move to startup visa. I'll just keep it you can read from the screen. I will just talk about it. If you have an idea that is just an idea, you want to establish it and bring it into like a specific project, and also maybe, with access to this mentoring, this consultancy from people, institutions, or business venture capitalist firms or business angels. So this is that kind of incubation, like bringing that idea into practical field. This is the visa for that, and it is only for 2 years. It is not extendable. After you establish that idea, this innovative idea, you can switch to innovator visa, because your idea project, you have a project, maybe you researched it to a level, you created a business plan for it, and you have the resources for it. You need to find the endorsing body that is your business plan speaks to. So there are different endorsing bodies, from art to science and technology. There are academic institutions or business angels or this mentoring firms. So we will, let's look at this overview. Yes, innovative business idea. So you need to have innovation in this business idea. It should be viable commercially. You can't just, bring an idea with no commercial aspects, and it should be scalable, which means it's not just a boutique solution. It could be taken into a macro level, that potential. So you need to obtain endorsement, presenting that business plan and idea to the relevant bodies. If you obtain the endorsement, then you completed this stage 1. You can proceed to the stage 2, which is the visa application with this endorsement. No need funds, because your idea might attract some investors, or the whoever is endorsing you might help you with this, finding the right funds. Okay, there is this good thing: you can work in another job while working on your business, because it is not straight commercial application. Innovator visa, however, is a different story. It is, again, it has to be an innovative idea. You need to obtain endorsement. There's an English level, English test. You have to have 50,000 available funds to invest, or you can secure these funds through an investor. It leads to ILR, and from startup, you are expected to continue with Innovator visa if your application is found, your endorsement continues, or you can find new endorsing body to give you a reference for switching. So you will need to discuss with the endorsing bodies if you want to move from startup to innovator stage. If you have made your project, turned it into a commercial project, then you can switch to innovator visa. So ILR rights are yes, startup doesn't have an indefinite leave to remain rights. It doesn't lead to indefinite leave to remain. It is only for 2 years. Innovator visas are valid for 3 years, and it can be extended if the person is not fulfilling eligible for indefinite leave to remain application at the time of completing that 3 years. Startup immigrants can switch to innovator visa, and after 5 years, if they are meeting the requirements, which are not, I think, which are very specific and very high requirements commercially, if eligible, they will be granted indefinite leave to remain. Otherwise, they will continue to extend with the endorsement in place. Endorsing bodies for startups, these are higher education institutions like academies and institutions like universities, and also business endorsing bodies such as accelerators, investment firms, like you give the idea and then they help you grow it. I just shared the link if you want to go online and see if what type of institutions are there. And also there's Innovator institutions. There's a link for that as well. These are pure business endorsing bodies like business angels, as I said, and other mentoring and capitalist firm, venture capitalist firms, capital firms. Okay, we will probably skip this one. Overseas representative of a business. I can just quickly mention these because I was not sure if I should share it or not. I didn't put it in because it is not just post-Brexit and it is just very stable. However, this is an option for business owners. I could briefly explain what this is. This is only for opening a branch in the UK. If the parent company is outside the UK and there is no branch here, no subsidiary, then not the majority shareholder, but smaller shareholder can apply under this category, or a senior professional can come to man this branch in the UK. Mainly for senior employees. This is also a visa. It was there for years. It leads to indefinite leave to remain after completing 5 years. Business owners can take this into consideration, or like senior employees, for example, international marketing or sales manager, can come to the UK on behalf of that company and open a branch for this parent company and be an employee of that branch in that branch. So this is leading to 5-year period because I was talking about business visas. Okay, let's move to global talent visa. So global talent visa, as I showed, it is global talent visa immigrant can work as a, they can start their business, they can be an employee, they can, but what they are, who are they? I think this is more important for Home Office. They just say like, okay, come in. We are not giving you so much. We are not defining so much requirements for you. We are not expecting so much from you, but we defined you. We are defining you as a leader or potential leader in your field. And again, there are endorsing bodies. Home Office are working with endorsing bodies. Home Office is giving support to them And these endorsing bodies are deciding who should come and how, and also they are creating checkpoints for the progress of that person under this, in this field or in that project, whatever. In Global Talent Visa, you don't have to present a project or innovative idea. You just present your credentials, and you, in that application form to, to endorsing body, however, you might be asked about your UK plans. I think this is the best thing for that, is just finding what endorsing body is in your area. There are 3 areas. One is, I'll show you here, academia or research. Look at the subheadings: science, medicine, engineering, humanities. And in digital technology field, financial technology, gaming, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. And arts and culture, combined arts, dance, literature, music, theater, or visual arts. Like maybe you are a leading artist in the visual arts field, or in architecture, you are a fashion designer with big fame and like leading the change, and also in film, television, including animation, post-production, and visual effects. So these 3 areas and these subheadings, and let's look back at this one. So you can see there are different lists, endorsing body lists, and you are from here. You can go and find who could be the best to contact and what they are looking for to be satisfied to endorse you. So in each one, as like startup and innovator as well, it is best to go and choose that whoever is the endorsing body you want to connect with. If your idea, your application is genuine, take their time to explore what they are looking for, because they have their own expectations, or they have their own vision. Maybe just mentoring a specific person in a specific area. So it could be commercial interest. It is best to explore who can give you this endorsement. It is exciting, but it is also, I think, quite demanding in terms of being high level, success oriented visa types, these three of them. So stage 1, stage 2 here, exactly stage 1 endorsement and stage 2 visa application. ILR for global talent visa, I find this very confusing. I'll just put the information here. At the time of applying for indefinite leave to remain, your endorsements must be continued to be valid, and you must have earned income. There is no specific requirement about the way and how much, but it is just they want you to show you have commercial activity. You have earned income. 3-year residence in this category if endorsement was one of these ones. 5-year residency if the endorsement was under these ones, and can combine with some worker and entrepreneur categories. There's quite a I think case specific, going case by case on this one would be the best. As an advisor, I would say, like, if someone asks me about global talent visa indefinite leave to remain rights, I would definitely ask them, okay, you should give me first, you should tell me the full story so I can understand exactly what is your right, and if you have completed your residential, the residential continuous residency. Okay, skilled worker category is the only one I will introduce today for the workers. Skilled worker category is this replaced tier 2 visa. Before we used to call this tier 2 visa, although Home Secretary Priti Patel introduced this as skilled worker category point-based system as something new. I think it was not technically very accurate to say. I think this points-based system was in place for many years, but however, they changed it to make it more, I think, in line with the interest after post-Brexit, in the post-Brexit climate. So they made some changes and removed some excessive administrative work and removed quotas to give some more flexibility to the employers. What happened is we have a list called job skilled worker appropriate job occupation list. So the area, the job you are applying for skilled worker must be in that list, and you must be given this certificate of sponsorship from the employer. They must say, okay, we are sponsoring this immigrant with this under this code, and this is our certificate of sponsorship. We are sponsoring these immigrants for this period of time. It could be 2 year, 3 year, up to 5 year. This is what I read, up to 5 year. So it is like it is not necessary to make you don't have to have extension. You can go straight to ILR if you have a sponsor in place. Here we have okay, this is just a play. I thought I have an empty slide for you. Okay, it's break time. So skilled worker category here. Here you look. Here we said sponsorship, English level, and job on the list of eligible occupations. Here there are mandatory points. You need to total 50 points. Sponsorship is 20. Job at an appropriate skill level 20. English language skill level at B1 intermediate 10. So this scores, these points are mandatory. You have to score this 50 points. And also there are 20 points you must score in between, like you're looking at there are 6 options, option A, option B, C, D, E, F. So you must score 20 points in one of these options. The first option talks about minimum salary requirement and going rate. For example, if you are being sponsored in financial as a financial manager for a company, and minimum salary requirement is, I can't tell it this from my just by heart, but let's say it is minimum salary requirement is £23,000 for that job, minimum. But the going rate is for that job, there is another list, going rate. If it is 40,000, you have to have both option right and get option A sorted. So in some of the categories, they take the qualification into account, such as in the option B, PhD in subject relevant to the job, but this gives an additional point. So you can, even if your salary is a bit lower than expected, lower than the published rates, it is somehow like they accept it. They say, because there is PhD, there is this science, this option C, you can see science, technology, engineering. I think M is it mathematics or mechanics? I can't remember. So it's like technical and engineering fields. So if you have PhD, this is quite a big advantage. And you can, but you have to have a job at that skill level. So with that PhD, otherwise you will be breaching that one, job at an appropriate skill level. So if you have PhD, your job has to be aligned with your qualification. Some of the jobs are in shortage occupations. That means UK doesn't have enough of these qualified people. It could be a teacher, it could be a medical expert like a physiotherapist or psychotherapist. It could be some skill set, could be like a carpenter, because let's say welding engineer or technician. So it is best to check. Option D might be quite interesting to explore. Sometimes we believe, I'm surprised to see some of the job codes in there, and I say like, okay, oh my God, that is in the shortage in the UK. So that might be quite interesting to explore. If you Google it, you will find it. I didn't put here. And also here in the fifth one, option E, new entrants. There's potential for new entrants, new graduates, new first-time employees to get a point, this 20 points in from option E. This is also like showing UK is accepting new skills, new fresh ideas, fresh people. As you can see in the option F is health or education occupation. They have their own specific category. If they are in that category, they must have to score in that category and get this category right. It's like a mandatory for them. So this is my understanding. This is what I can provide you right now. Here, skilled worker visa, eligible occupation codes. At least even if you can't take a note of this, you know there is a list for these occupations and showing their codes. And visit that, explore if your field specialist area is covered, so you can plan out your job applications if you are planning to come to the UK as a skilled worker. If you are an employer and if you want to register as a sponsor, you can check what occupations, what codes are covered in there, and decide if your registration as a sponsor makes sense for compared to if you compare with what your company needs. Briefly, I didn't probably put here, but I think sponsoring as a sponsor registration is very important now for many British employers in the UK, because with the European Union, workforce is going to be less and less, probably. This is what we are, of course, thinking, and what we are foreseeing, predicting based on what we are observing in historically. Employer will need to sponsor immigrants. Some employers will need to sponsor immigrants. Before we enjoyed, as Britain, we enjoyed this variety as in the workforce, and there were not much needed for employing Europeans. Maybe just the general information was sufficient for employers because they just show their passport, and employers were just scanning that passport and confirming that they are eligible to work in the UK. Now, with these current European Union nationals, they will need to show you that they are pre-settled. They are holding a pre-settled status or settled status, or they will be showing you maybe other documentation from the previous traditional routes, which are still valid until the 30th of June. The applications are still open for pre-settled and pre-settled status. And settled status is going to be like after a European Union national lives here for 5 years, they will be eligible to apply for settled status, which is indefinitely to remain permanent residence in like how we know it. So this workforce, if I come back to what I was saying, employers will not be able to employ people easily with very little hassle as before. Now there will be, if there is a shortage, they will need to get a sponsorship license from the Home Office. If a company has a sponsorship license, if they are registered in the registered skilled worker sponsors list, then they can start looking for recruiting overseas internationally. And when they find the right employee, they can create certificate of sponsorship and bring that employee to the UK. What happens after that is they execute they execute some administrative tasks and monitor a system called sponsorship management system. They record, they do some administrative work, information recording, not excessive, not very time consuming, but like to keep home office informed about if there is any changes, if there is any, like, you know, if the employee still is, if employee left work, or if you decide to terminate contract, then you can like inform the home office about these kind of changes. Sponsors will be probably like maybe not initially like in the first few months, but after pandemic, I think there are so many companies will notice how it affected not just Brexit, with the pandemic as well. There is like a big, this is what I hear, what I read in the comments, like in general, it's like people tend to move to their home country because of this pandemic. Maybe this is temporary, maybe they are planning to come back, but worker shortage might increase. We don't know exactly with the current pandemic what is the level of need for the UK, of course. Probably the real data would be available after pandemic is gone, and in the next few months after the business comes back to more operating fully, then companies will notice what they need better. So finally, I mentioned who are we? Yes, we are regulated by the OISC at the highest level of level 3 advisors, UK immigration law specialist firm. So we just focus on UK immigration. Branches, we have branches in London, Istanbul. I just mentioned that in the beginning. What is different here is we have a sister company doing creating business plans and providing business consultancy. So this is why we are focusing on business and corporate site work permits and consulting in this kind of categories. So we have this niche and we enjoy it a lot. So that's it. I think only, yes, my email address, if you have any questions, any specific questions, maybe we might not cover here. If you have specific questions, you can always email me and ask your question. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Nusra. It was great. It makes sense for me now. For the skilled worker visa, is there any fee for to pay to Home Office?
Yes, there is. There are so many fees and they are changing every month. So I don't have I don't have the number, but I can look up. It is affordable. It's like, I want to say 600 something, but it is not healthy to give number. Yes, there is a for the worker application, right?
Yeah, in the chat box, the lady asked Selenai, how much does it cost to apply for skilled worker visa?
It is quite affordable, I would say. It is less than £1,000, but I can check it. Skilled worker visa, even it could be like just in front of me somewhere.
I understand all type of visa has different fee, or some of them.
Oh yes, and they are changing, they're updating. So sometimes information is quite.
UK government really good for this kind of costing management, because I moved to UK about 15 years ago and the fee was very low, and every year by year, they upgrade their fees. So I'm not quite sure how much is the citizenship cost now, around 15 quid something.
Oh yes, yeah. Skilled worker is 610. Also, it depends on the length. If I now find the fee list. If the person is applying for 3 years or less, it is 610. If the skilled worker is applying for 3 years, more than 3 years, it is 1,220. If the skilled worker is applying for a job in shortage occupation, the numbers are less than that. If the worker is applying for in a health and care area, it is even less than that. So it's kind of
depends on the situation and the years. Yeah.
yes.
And obviously, if they are going to carry on the ILR, it's going to be another cost fee, and the citizenship passport another fee. So they have to prepare to pay year on year.
Of course, like every extension.
Yeah.
But I think it is still okay compared to, family visas. Family visas are quite expensive, much expensive.
Yeah. There is another question that in the chat box, Filiz Demirci asked, can we change our ECAA visa to skilled worker visa? If so, does ILR period affected?
Yes, ILR period gets affected. You start your residential period from 0. So it doesn't count towards a 5-year residential requirement, because they are totally different two categories.
Okay.
And what was the other question? She asked one more. If she can switch. She cannot switch within the UK, because they are different. Like, one is European visa, one is English visa. This is how I can simply say, just to show the difference. British visa, one is European. So from European visa, you can't always go to every visa. So this is in this category, it is the same. You go to your home country and make an application to come in under this skilled worker visa.
So they cannot apply from UK if they are already living in UK?
Yes.
No.
Even
if they come as a tourist and they decide to apply on this kind of categories, so they have to go back to the abroad.
There are like with each category, there are like short lists saying that only the following the immigrants in the following list can switch their visas to this one. And this is why case specific scenarios are very important to us. So now we know that this person, whoever asked that question, I can't remember the name, they specified what visa they have. So I know the answer. But normally I would go to that list and check if that is possible. For example, a domestic worker, a short-term student visa, cannot switch to this many visas. Apart from European visas, there are other visas, for example, child visa. Sometimes that child can grow and cannot want to apply for a visa. So this list will change according to the visa category.
Okay, it's very important details. So it's better to apply with the solicitor or the immigration company like yourself. If they apply by themselves, it's not quite easy to understand. It's complicated, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's at the moment there are information like, before we used to have more simpler explanations. Now we have a guidance and we have to click and explore that one, and then click and explore that one, check against this table, check this, check that one, and then just to establish if the scenario is right, if before even proceeding to the speaking about the application itself, we have to do all these checkpoints, bring all these checkpoints to understand the company, the job, the appropriate level of skill, the salary, the tables, and then say, okay, that sounds like a good, successful, and right application. Now we can proceed. So it's the material, and they specified and defined everything very, very in detail. So yeah, I would be happy if they have an application.
Yeah, if they miss one point and they got refused, and to reapply or appeal, they need to pay another fee, I guess.
That's true. The Home Office users don't.
So saving money, better apply with you or any other consultancy.
Of course, we always say that, but people can, if they trust themselves and if they made the research, of course, they can proceed themselves. Otherwise, you know, firms like us, we want to get the result, positive result in the first try, not in the second one. This is what we aim, what we prepare, and what we want to be known for in our fields.
What
Otherwise,
is your success resource percentage to?
we are not allowed to give percentage.
Yeah.
We could only say high success rate or constant continuous success rates.
I know it very well, but yeah, you are good not to say.
I believe immigration connection is, so we are sometimes we really value success and we refuse cases. Sometimes we say, oh, this case, oh, most of the time we don't accept the case because we don't see it succeeding. And we explain that in a way that people don't take it personal, because actually it is about the immigration rules and regulations. We value success, and I believe, you know, honest opinion should be always should be a part of the service. If a person is, you know, sometimes in the process a person gets into a situation, you know, and then they lose, you see that a risk is arising, you have to inform the client, because they might change their application, or they might consider, they might prefer to consider another route. That is also a part of success. Success is not always we do our job well. We aim to be always, you know, right information. So not applying just because people want it. Because I know this case doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, I can't help you with this application, because I think it's gonna fail and you're gonna lose money. You're gonna get your immigration history having this note as a refusal, and you might like to just
You choose to be realistic.
yes, of course,
obviously, and also you need to be up to date as you are. And if personal application goes, and during the meantime, if anything change on home office side, they don't know, so they cannot follow up. But as a company, immigration company, always up to date, and better to apply with the immigration office to have the better chance to follow up these changes.
At least I can say that. Of course, you know, I don't want to sound like, you know, advertising here. Even
no, I mean, it's that's the truth, because while we are here, we need to give the right information. At the same time, the best practice, as everyone know from your experience, from maybe they applied already, they got the refuse, and they are gonna try to another type of visa. They need to understand it is the complicated case, and we are giving the right advice. So it is not the advertising.
at least what I want to add to this is, recently OISC find like there was an ongoing investigation apparently for 2 years, and there are many like non-authorized advisors in the market. They should be very aware of who are they, you know, corresponding with, and who is helping them. Recently, like a company, after making millions in the market in just, you know, modern world, they were
without any license. It's like a dojo operation.
They were, yes, dojo operations, and they were caught. They were you know, they are going to pay some compensation and some penalties. They got this, but there are so many people who suffered because of their how they treated, how they acted. So this is like a life-changing thing, you know, that people lost their rights because of their advice. So it's like I think this is very important in this sector, because it's not allowed. People are, if without a license, they are not allowed.
Yeah, first thing, they need to ask a license if they are going to get any advice from any immigration office.
Exactly.
Okay, there are a couple of questions in the Q&A box. Shirin Şimşek asked in Turkish. Can you read it, or shall I just?
I can read it.
Yeah, she means that I think her husband working in airlines, and they are both engineer.
I think we covered this. Engineers, they can explore the occupation code for engineers, because they're asking about engineers, the immigration for
There's
engineers.
a code in the list you mentioned earlier.
Yes, there's a code for engineers. There are options for engineers. Of course, it is possible if they need to find an employer who is willing to, accepting them to sponsor them. So they need to first find an employer, a job, apply for jobs, and see. Of course, before even doing that, maybe checking the codes, job codes. If they can find, I'm sure many engineering areas must be there. If they can find the occupation code they are in, and then start looking for job in the market. If they receive a sponsorship, then they have a case. So there will be a lot of research before application.
How they will prove English level? You said intermediate, so what kind of examination they need to?
IELTS is currently chosen, appointed English test provider. In the UK, we have Trinity College London serving the same purpose. There is Trinity College London test center and IELTS test centers, but outside UK is IELTS. They can also, if they have a degree, diploma in a university that is teaching its courses in English, they can use this diploma after confirming the comparability of the confirmation of the English teaching during that course. If they have obtained a master or diploma in the UK, they can check that again. We have tables. We can check the diploma degree, if it could be higher, maybe college education. We can check that on the table and see what it is equivalent, and if they are confirming, if the Home Office has that institution in their tables. English languages can be, can be met in various ways.
Okay. Another question Öznur asked, my daughter will go to Imperial College this year in September, biomedical engineering. How we can take a residency permit? With residency, school fee will be less and less.
Okay, that is I think different question. That at the moment, I think that this could be a bit confusing, because I know if parents are settled or living in the UK, their children pay less to the school after they live in the UK for a certain number of years. This is what I know. But for daughter to keep the school fee less, I don't think there is any option. This is not something I'm aware of. Maybe they can research it, check it with school. What does that mean for the child if the parents are not settled in the UK, and because we mentioned some categories. So if they are not moving to the UK, the child is probably more than 18 years old, an adult. I don't think it is very relevant to our webinar here. They should check this with the school.
I mean, some of the European countries pay less fee than other countries, but if Öznur asked, maybe she's based in Turkey. So, Ekin Çelik, is there any upcoming new condition for skilled workers in shortage occupation? Such will not ask for sponsorship.
I don't think so, Ekin. It is not I understand the question. Skilled workers always, tier 2 shortage occupation is not new. It has been in the market, like in use since the tier point-based system came, at least. With shortage occupation, you need sponsor always. For worker category, you always need a sponsorship certificate. So that means if you are in the shortage list, you can't just apply and come here to look for work. However, if your area is in the shortage occupation list, that means you might have better chance in terms of finding an employment offer. This is my answer, yes.
Yeah, I have a specific question. If the company based in UK is a sponsor and they're hiring someone from abroad because they already know the person or their operation in abroad and the person from that area, so how long they need to stay in UK? Because in that mean they need to work in abroad, but they are going to base in UK as an employee.
Do you mean if they are operating abroad?
Yeah, some travel companies, let's say they are operating in certain countries, but they're based in UK. But if they employ the people to work for them with this sponsorship visa, and then the employee will work actually in abroad, not in UK. Is that possible, or?
There are some, we have come across with some cases where a person had to travel frequently, not live permanently in another country. I think that is another, that would be a different scenario, because then why do you need to get a sponsorship? You know, your worker can just continue, just fly for meetings, or like you can get some, find other ways to communicate with your employee if they are going to be living abroad under your sponsorship. So that is another question. However, if the employee needs to frequently fly to other countries due to job description, in that scenario, when the application for indefinite leave to remain or citizenship, if this being presented, we just put this information about these travels being work-related travels. So not living permanently, but it's okay to frequently fly as long as there is a confirmation from the company and an explanation to, you know, and as long as it is, you can explain the relevance. It is not about, I wouldn't say like, you know, due to pandemic, I can work from home, so I'd better go and work from hot, sunny Brazil. That is not really what I mean. It's about this is, I don't think this is covered. What I mean is going abroad for meetings, like maybe being a part of the manufacturing.
Market research or something.
Market research. We had clients like that in the automotive sector or in banking. They had to travel and meet clients, do some risk assessments and do manufacturing processes, you know, manage them. But they were fine in their applications.
Okay. Any other question? Let's check the chat box. Is there any upcoming new condition for skilled worker in shortage of
that?
Yeah, we covered that.
Yes. Okay, what can I can just maybe, if there's time, I can just briefly give a few.
Oh, there are two more questions in the Q&A.
Okay.
Hello, could you please read? Can you read it? So
yes. Could you please elaborate on global talent visa a little further? I'm a new graduate and I have obtained a couple of talent film-related areas such as screenwriting. I would like to learn what can I do to maximize my chance when applying for the visa in the film area. Also, how can I prove that I have made money in the area I'm applying for? Do I need bills, receipts, or something entirely different? Oh, wow, that's quite a good question. I think the applicant, the person who is asking the question, I think should check the global talent visa. If you remember from my slide, I was showing the endorsing bodies. If on global talent visa, if you go and check the film field, endorsing bodies in the area of film art, and then maybe the best thing is to see what this endorsing body requires to endorse, give an endorsement, and what they expect from you. It could be, for example, it could be like a research project, a creative project. They need to see if you are a leader or if you have potential to lead. So different endorsing bodies will apply different criteria. Also, if you are a if you are on specializing in film, but if you are want to work in post-production side, then you might go and find an endorsing body and find out what it could mean for you. This way, it is only possible to convince, find like what will convince this endorsing body. It is not about Home Office's request. It is not Home Office. Home Office is not asking you to provide this. Home Office is asking only that endorsement letter from the endorsing body. And what endorsing body is wanting from you makes a difference. And this is why there are few options. It is best to explore. I don't want to comment like what could it be, because it could be speculation. Instead, it is best to go and check which one suits you best. And in the how can I prove that I have made money in the area I'm applying for? Do I need bills, receipt? There is not a big list, but there is a list also on the Home Office website. You can prove these earnings. There is no requirement to how much you earn. There's like you earned money, like you have a potential and you have an activity towards it to make it happen. So it could be pay slips, it could be a self-assessment tax return, a business earning, invoices, definitely invoices, and bank statements. So this kind of proof would be helpful to the caseworker to show that you made money. There is another question from Dinesh. Can the sponsored employees bring the families depends? Any other requirements for that, like income, salary levels? This skilled worker category, definitely families can be dependent. When looking for a job, of course, people think, it's going to be, they will check the salary level if it is, because if they are being offered £25,000 in a city that requires 15,000, 18,000 pounds for the rental, they might prefer not to bring their families in the beginning. But there are not a requirement for in terms of income level for people who will bring their families. The requirement for salary, the money funds, is how much they keep in the account as a maintenance for their family members. For each applicant, they need to hold certain level of savings in their account. And if one person is applying, this is just calculated based on one person. If there are family members, again, we see the accurate level of maintenance at the time of we are starting the case. And this should be held in the applicant's account for a certain period of time for each family member and for the applicant themselves. In some situations, the employers can certify the maintenance. They can say that because if they are A-rated sponsor, the employee doesn't even need to show maintenance in terms of like how much they have. They just become eligible because their employer will confirm that they somehow guarantee that they will be looked after. Okay, thank you.
Okay, in the polling, the survey questions. So for your occupation, I forgot to add business owner. So if you are a business owner, you can type in chat box that we can see how many business owners are in the webinar. So if you haven't answered yet, please answer. I'm gonna end the pool right now. Mainly from UK, Turkey, even Middle East, and there are IT, law, education, finance, arts categories, and executive, manager, director, student, lawyer, doctor, engineer, teacher. Wow. And are you planning to live in UK? And even people say no. I'm not sure why they are here, but yes. Yeah, I'm curious that why you don't want to live in UK. What is your
They are living in a sunny country, you know.
yeah, maybe. Do you want to hear about immigration connection visa services? So if you are happy they communicate with you to offer in the services, you say yes, and some of them say no, that's fine. So if you all answered, I'm going to end the pool. We can see the, yeah, share the result. Everyone can see the result now.
So
Yeah, that's my best part for the webinar, so it's funny. And
about it. Yes.
yeah, and there is no more question. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's all done, I guess. Thank you so much, Nusra. It was great. So if any update changes, maybe we can catch you again to, to organize another webinar or interview to explain new changes. I'm sure it's going to be some changes in the future because they just finished the Brexit hassle, so they will be focusing more on the immigration part now.
We'll see. We'll see. We saw quite a big change. Let's see how it's going to go. Maybe sometimes they do little improvements in regular intervals. For example, in July and August, they will do some updates, I'm sure. But I think this is currently they created a structure now. Hopefully, hopefully they bring new categories, not make this narrow, because really Britain is good with in this multicultural environment. This talents from, of course, all over the globe. Sometimes people bring different talents, different culture. It doesn't have to be always the highest and the top. So variety is always good. This is what I think for a healthy community. Hope this multiculturality continues to go on in Britain. We love it. I love it. Yeah, okay. That's it.
You work online at the moment, or your office is open?
Our office is open. We are operating from Angel office. However, we are not accepting clients. In the long run, we will opening our doors to clients. At the moment, we are meeting clients online.
Okay, how many minutes it's free? You were given the free consultation?
Depends on the visa category and what is their stage. If they are in the application stage, they can say that, okay, I have sorted this part out. I ended this process. Now I am at the application stage. Then we start the case. We give the free advice, and if we mutually agree, we continue with the application. But if a person is starting their research is just now to decide to learn, like this is technical advice, like a training, like what I'm doing here, but in more detail about a specific category, then they can email and ask about a fee-paid immigration advice session. So me and other advisors would be, like one of our advisors would be available to speak about this category and help the person to have a general idea about what to proceed, how to proceed, and what actions to take. That would be more like a coaching, mentoring, teaching, explaining, helping them create a strategy for themselves. We don't, this is more about technical advice, but based on immigration rules, of course, not just like a life coaching, but immigration education and technical advice is the best way to put it.
Yeah, and on your services, there are several stages, pre-stages, during the application, and after they get their visa, you are given some post application advice certain things. Can you explain a little bit? They can be sure that the quality of your services is different than others.
Thank you for giving this chance, Arzu. I really appreciate that. So before we prefer to do the assessment. I'm sure many immigration advisors do that, to of course understand if the case is right to make the application. If we are convinced that case is right, then we proceed with the application process. We accept the client and we start the case. We start giving advice that as like a legal representative, not just information or just comment. We just, based on the specific information provided to us, we give them certain specific guidelines and strategies and do the checkpoints and quality control and fill the forms and create this legal representation letters, send it to application, send the application to Home Office. We stay as a point of contact for the Home Office. So if there's something, anything needed, if there's any correspondence coming through to the client, it's gonna come through our email box. We will be point of contact if there's an interview, if there's any missing documents, or if there's something they need to understand or get an explanation for. So we will be facilitating that communication until we get the result. Once we get the results, hopefully it is a visa. After that, the client can ask us questions in line with that visa, type of visa. Of course, if they have other questions, if they want to move to another category, that is a different service. But if they got their visa with us, especially in the next 5-6 months, they will have some questions about how to use it and what are the conditions, what they need to be careful, what they need to complete. So we give this after visa consultancy, and then following that consultancy, in the first 3 months, if they have questions, they can email us until they understand exactly what their responsibilities are.
If I compare my mother country, Turkey, and here, the rule is totally different. So you need to get the right advice, how to open a bank account, you know, how to rent a house. It's all information are different than maybe their own country. So it's my advice, it's best to get an advisor, because like Immigration Connection, after you get your result and granted your visa, they help you all the life changes stage.
Yeah, we try
yeah.
best. And also we love connecting with immigrants, and it is a life-changing period, of course, like for them adjusting to a new country. So we enjoy it, and we help them. Just it doesn't have to be always service. So because it's like a respect and kindness. So we would be happy to be there if they for them if they need this support, instead of people trying to find out it through misinformation or like doing the trial and errors. So we give this brief ideas always. We also publish blog and social media content for them to learn, read about what they need to do. So it is important because immigration is I think quite sacred in terms of like I appreciate that's quite a brave thing to change your country and helping these people go with their dream life. And that is also like, I think, very honoring and very humbling experience, in my opinion.
Yes, I know you are giving very good advice, and you have a specific team to help them, guide them.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Nusra. If they need to contact you, you shared your email. Maybe it's better to write in chat box. They can copy it as well. I will be able to share this webinar recording video on our YouTube page in next few days. So if you miss any part or struggle to remember the presentation, you can be able to go back to the video and see it, watch it. And also, I would appreciate if you could share in your social channels the webinar video. When I post it on the YouTube, then everyone get the right information from your friends and social contacts. Thank you so much, and hope to see you again in another webinar platform. And stay safe and healthy. Look after yourself. Thank you, Nusra.
Thank you, Arzu. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that. It was, thank you for the invite, Arzu. You stay healthy as well, and also our participants.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend, guys. Bye.
Thank you.